This is a older case. It's I've heard about it a few times, but um, not near as often as you do others. I've maybe heard about him 3 or 4 times. His name is Lawrence SIngleton, also called Larry Singleton. He earned the nickname Mad Chopper. You'll see why. He was born July 28th, 1927. And I think it's a good thing that is dead now, but he died December 28th, 2001. He was 74 years old. He was an American criminal. He's known to raped and mutilated an adolescent hitchhiker named Mary Vincent in California. What a brave, well, she was a girl at the time. She was a woman later. And it happened in 1978. And he perpetrated a second attack on a woman shortly after being released from prison because he only served 8 years for raping and really badly mutilating that other girl. He raped Vincent and cut off her arms and left her to die in a culvert. But Mary Vincent managed to crawl up to safety, and she later acted as a key witness against the rapist. That's why I say that she was so brave. And you can really look into it. It's a long story, but it was really hard for her to be able to crawl and save her life. There's YouTube videos about it. There's reports about it, but I'm trying not to do hour-long videos. I just don't have the time. I don't have the mental power. I love hour-long videos from other creators, but I just can't do them. Released from prison on good behavior after serving 8 years of his 14-year sentence, Singleton later married Lawrence SIngleton, the piece of crap murdered Roxanne Hayes, a mother of 3. On February 19th, 1997, police found him covered in blood after stabbing her in his new home. And he would have had to have been an old man even at this point, like 70. But, old men and old women do some mean stuff. And if you follow true crime, you know that. But we'll go back to the Mary Vincent case. It happened on September 29th, 1978. And Mary was just 15 years old at the time in Las Vegas, Nevada. And you can look into her. I'm not going to do a deep dive, but she had a troubled upbringing, and this was the 70s. I was a few months old when this happened, but Mom told me that it was at least perceived to be safer to hitchhike back then. That wasn't necessarily the reality, but everybody and their brother hitchhiked. And a lot of people hitchhiked together, but, a lot of stuff happened, sadly. She was hitchhiking from her grandfather's house in Berkeley, California, to get back home to Las Vegas. He picked her up outside of Modesto, California. He knocked her unconscious with a sledgehammer. He spent the whole night raping her and torturing her. He severed both her forearms off with a hatchet. Singleton figured she was dead or near dead, and he threw her off of a 30-foot cliff uh, near a canyon, leaving her naked and bleeding out. She mitigated the bleeding from her forearms by shoving them into mud, and the mud suppressed her bleeding while she managed to pull herself back up the cliff. See what I see? It wasn't easy. She walked for 3 miles naked, covered in blood, and armless before finding and alerting a passing couple who took her to a hospital. By the time of Lawrence SIngleton's arrest, she wore prosthetic arms. Her testimony helped to convict him. He was sentenced to 14 years in prison, which was the maximum allowed by law in California at that time. To be honest, in the late 1970s, they probably didn't have a lot in the books to cover that, because who would do something like that is probably how they thought, And I'm sure people did it, they just weren't caught or whatever. And I'd say it was also probably less common back then too. The presiding judge remarked, "If I had the power, I would send him to prison for the rest of his natural life." I agree with that. But, he didn't have the power. He had to stay within the law. Or it would have been overturned as it should be, sadly. And I hate saying that, but the law should have been better, Murray Vincent won a $2.5 million judgment against Singleton, but she wasn't able to get it because he was unemployed and in poor health and didn't have any money in savings. So it didn't do her any good, but, a lot of people were angry that Lawrence SIngleton was paroled after only serving 8 years. That's a little bit more than half of his sentence. He got out on good behavior, and he learned new skills and stuff while he was in there. And I guess he convinced him he wouldn't do it again, which, I'm sorry, but if somebody's went that far, they're probably going to do it again, and in my opinion, they belong in prison, even if they wouldn't do it, because they still did it in the first place. That's just my opinion. According, let's see, because I'm not wanting to do a deep dive, and I'm already over halfway to the 15-minute mark. People were outraged by the sentence he got, and so they made new legislation, and Murray Vincent supported it, and it prevents the early release of offenders who have committed a crime in which torture is used. And I support that, because if you're torturing people, you're probably not going to change. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm saying 99.999999999% chance you won't. You'll find excuses, you'll blame the victim, you just don't take responsibility. Lawrence SIngleton's parole led to a law in California called the Singleton Bill. That's not its name, but that's what everybody calls it, which carries a 25 years to life sentence when you use torture. A lot of people were outraged by the legal system being so lenient on somebody like this. If you sold a loaf of bread to feed your family, yeah, you should probably, something should be done because it's still illegal. but you're not a hardened criminal. You know, this guy was just a piece of crap. And I'm trying to keep YouTube happy, the algorithm happy, so I won't say the other word. But you know what I'm saying. He never took any responsibility. If you watch other YouTube videos, they'll talk about how he blamed Mary. He blamed the other woman. He blamed. It seemed like he blamed the man in the moon, just to keep the video under 15 minutes. It's audio, but it's in order to be on YouTube, it has to be a video. So, but just to keep it under 15 minutes, he blamed everybody and everything but him, and he flat out said that in similar circumstances he would do it again. He would never say I'll never do it again, which you would think would make him ineligible for parole. And honestly, in today's world, it probably would, as it should. Singleton returned to his native Florida after his release. In 1990, he was convicted of theft twice. They were petty items, though. $10 or less, both times, each time. In 1997, a neighbor called on him because he was assaulting a woman in his home, in Larry Singleton's home. I guess he heard it. When police arrived, they found the dead body of Roxanne Hayes. She had been stabbed multiple times in the upper body. And this is the hard part. Roxanne Hayes was a mother of 3. So they grew up without a mother on kind of this monster. And yes, I think if you do things like that, you're a monster. Mary Vincent, this is so brave of her, and just shows her fighting spirit, She traveled from California to Tampa, Florida, to appear at Singleton's sentencing, and she testified to how he attacked her and the ordeal of what he did. How it affected her. Up to present day. The judge sentenced Singleton to death, but unfortunately he died of cancer before the state could do their job. And I kind of have a nuanced view on the death penalty. I think it has its place, just personally. I think in a case like this it's warranted, because they knew it was him. I mean, he even admits it. I mean, he makes it sound like he was an innocent man that was forced to do horrible things to a 15-year-old. But, he still admits that it was him that did it, And they caught him red-handed in the 1997 case. But anyway, I kept this under 15 minutes. I hope it's enough for you to look into it further if you would like. And if you wouldn't like to, you'll know a little bit about this monster. And with that said, if you like these type of videos and you think I did a halfway decent job, please like and comment and share. And when you comment, if you think I can improve, please tell me how. I want to grow and learn and be be better at this a year from now than I am today, and definitely be a lot better 5 years from now than I am today. And I plan on keeping doing these. And for right now, it's partly frugality, partly biographies, and partly true crime stuff. And I'll probably add weight loss and other stuff because I want to enjoy what I'm doing, and I live on disability, so this is really all I can do. So if I'm going to spend my spoons on this, I want to enjoy it, and I hope you enjoy it too. And with that said, please like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, comment, share, all that kind of stuff. Okay, bye.